him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Macamagab, it is time for me to rag on Sammy Hagar like I always do on the only news that matters. And yes, Sammy Hagar Belcher believes Alex Van Halen won't talk to him now because he has a memoir coming out later this year. Can you believe this guy? Oh man, I gotta read this. Check this out. Belcher is currently on the Best of All Worlds tour, which has brought together ex-Van Halen bassist Michael Anthony. What do you mean brought together? Michael Anthony's never left the side of his husband, Sammy Hagar Belcher. Drummer Jason Bonham, who's been with him forever too, and guitar virtuoso Joe Satriani, who was in Chicken Boot with Sammy, performed Vangina classics from the David Lee Roth and Hagar years. No, David Lee Roth was Van Halen. And they hardly, what did they play? 3 songs from that era? With I think like Michael singing most of it, whatever. It's garbage. Anyway, notably absent from the trek is Alex Van Halen, despite Belcher's efforts to get him on board. Then again, he has previously noted that he feels Alex just doesn't like playing without his brother. Durr. And that he doesn't blame him for feeling that way. Yeah, sure you don't blame him. That's why you keep bringing him up. You keep bringing him up that you want him to play. And here he is saying, well, I don't blame him for feeling that way. Well, if you don't blame him for feeling that way, leave him alone and stop calling him. Why can't Eddie Trunk say this to him when he interviews the guy? Oh, yeah, that's right, because Eddie Trunk is too chicken shit to fucking call out Sammy Hagar. Get me Sammy Hagar, goddammit, or Eddie Trunk. Get me both those motherfuckers. Anyway, after he said, look at this. He actually knows how Alex feels. All right, I don't blame him. And then this is what he says: I reached out to Alex a dozen times before this tour. And by the way, before the tour, Alex didn't have no book deal, did he? I mean, years before the tour. Because Sammy claims he's been trying to get hold of Alex for years, way before he had a book deal. Anyway, I reached out to Alex a dozen times before the tour was announced and got no response. I mean, I've asked him to meet me under any conditions, any circumstances, any time, any place, anywhere. It's not like, well, let me think about it. It's like, no answer. 0. Well, maybe it has to do with him not wanting to play with anybody unless his brother's there. Like what you said earlier about you don't blame him for feeling that way. God, this guy is such a putz. Sammy Hagar Belcher sucks. And on top of that, he says Alex is set to release an autobiography, Brothers, on the 22nd of October. It promises to be an intimate and open account on Alex's life, in which he shares his personal story of family, friendship, music, and brotherly love in a remarkable tribute to his beloved brother and bandmate. Now get this part rules. It's the reason Hagar suspects Alex hasn't engaged with him. He said, I'm sure when he made his book deal, they said, hey, you cannot talk to Dave and you cannot talk to Hagar. And he says, I guarantee you that was part of the deal. Is this guy a fucking loon or what? All right, now he's saying it's the book publishers that are making him not talk to Sammy Hagar. Like I said earlier, way before Alex ever had a book deal, way before even Eddie Van Halen died. Alex didn't want nothing to do with Sammy. And then after he died, still didn't want nothing to do with Sammy. It's been 4 years, all right? And 3 of those 4 years, Alex did not have a book deal. Now, I am looking forward to the book. Look, if it's a book about his relationship with Eddie and how beautiful it was and so on, that's cool. I'd read it. But I'll be honest with you. I will be extremely disappointed if he doesn't call out Sammy Belcher. Hey, call out Dave too. I know there's a lot of material on Dave. Man, but call out Sammy Belcher. Why you won't return his calls. Talk about what a stalker he is, that he won't leave you alone and he won't stop talking about you in the press, where you don't even talk to the press at all. And he's always acting like he wants to be your friend. He wants extra asses at the seats of these best of both worlds, because with Alex Van Halen playing drums on that shit, you know, man, a lot of more people would go to that crap. And here he is talking about, well, you know, I think it's because of his book deal, like he's speculating. He ain't even saying he thinks. He's positive with no proof. Well, shit, I'm going to throw that at Sammy too, you know? Here's the reason that Alex Van Halen will not talk to Sammy Hagar anymore. The whole reason that he doesn't talk to Sammy Hagar anymore, I speculate, is because he's embarrassed of Vangina and the music they did together. Extremely, extremely embarrassed by it. So embarrassed by it that he's releasing box sets and remasters of the Vangina catalog so he can get extra money for his sex change operation for being the drummer of Vangina. That's what I speculate. Now here's a story that Sammy said on Eddie Trunk's show, saying that David Lee Roth, he went AWOL after he accepted Hagar's invitation to join the tour. Hagar's like, come on, motherfucker, let's do it. And Dave says, I'm ready to do it. And then Hagar, you know, turns around and says, no, I don't want him on the tour. Hey, man. But you invited him. So now what Hagar is saying, or Belcher is saying, that after Dave said, hey, let's do it. And you said, no, Dave hasn't said a word again. And what the fuck is Dave hiding from? You invited him. You invited him. He accepted. You denied him after he accepted. Well, what do you want him to do? Beg you to be on your crappy tour? You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. And there is Eddie Trunk with his nose so far up his ass he can see what he had for breakfast. Well, he can smell what he had for breakfast. Because it's his nose up Sammy Belcher's ass. And will not question Sammy Belcher like, hey, what do you mean AWOL? The hell are you talking about? He made you look like a fool when he accepted it, and then you turn around and you made the world see what a freaking liar you are. But thank God the world is full of morons that actually run out and say, Sammy Hagar's a good guy. That's why Sammy Hagar's is still in business, because he's got morons that think he's a nice guy, not full of shit. I wish David Lee Roth would have came out after Sammy said, no, I won't allow him. I wish David Lee Roth would have came out and just said, I thought so. I knew that invitation was to try to make me look bad. So I accepted the offer so I can see you squirm like the piece of shit you are. Sammy also said that he has spent over $1 million on this tour. And you know what he also spent money on? I was not aware of this. I did a news report a while ago of Sammy Hagar Belcher getting the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and a lot of comments, and I even saw a link to it that not only Sammy Belcher, but everybody that's getting a Hollywood star, you know, those that get it, they're paying for it. And Sammy's got to pay for that every year. And, you know, he pays for the star, and then he goes and shows up going, yeah, I came from nothing, and now look, I got a star. He should have been honest. Yeah, look, I came from nothing, and I got a star with my tequila money. he can't do that because he's phony. He's fake. Like Eddie Trunk, I tell it as it is. Yeah, you tell it as it is. As long as they don't talk to you. Yeah, you'll bash on Paul Stanley and whoever who won't talk to you. But you have this guy, the biggest bullshit artist, well, mind you, who's tied with Sammy Belcher as a big bullshit artist, is Nikki Sixx. And Eddie talks to both those guys and doesn't call them out with their bullshit lies. If he thought, I remember when Nikki Sixx, he was kind of calling him out, but like jokingly, like laughing, giggling, just, oh man, he was just hoping that after the interview, Nikki Sixx would lay his balls on his forehead. Fuck Eddie Trunk, fuck Sammy Belcher, but thank you all for watching The Only News That Matters. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring that little notification bell and like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. And in case you are subscribed to my channel, please check to see if you're still subscribed, because people are getting unsubscribed for no reason, and that blows. So, stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath, and smack 'em a cob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.